Yo, party people, it's Ashley of SingleWomanChronicles.com, where being single is a beautiful choice rather than a miserable circumstance. And today's episode is brought to you by Single Woman Chronicles, an Atlanta love story kinda, which is my fiction novel. It is so juicy. Get into it. And also my nonfiction novel called How to Ex Your Ex, a guide to getting past unhealthy relationships. You can pick these books up at Audible, as well as Amazon, as well as books on Google Play, Apple Books, Barnes& and Noble's website, and I think that's all I got. Anywho, before I get into today's topic, I do want to say this, and I posted a little bit of it on my Instagram, but just for people who follow me, there is a play out called Single Woman Chronicles Stage Play, and I just want you guys to know that I am not affiliated. People were asking, like, is this you? Does this have anything to do with you? No. I don't know who these people are. All I know is it popped up last year on Twitter and I saw them promoting. I think the play went on last weekend and their colors are similar to mine. Their um messaging is similar to mine, but like I don't know, it's just weird to me because I am trademarked. But if you have ever been trademarked or understand it, you can only trademark certain like sectors. So I'm only trademarked under blogs, books, ebooks, articles, things of that nature. So I believe that's why they did that. But I think for me, it's just kind of weird that you would, because if you Google Single Women Chronicles, I come up. So it's just weird that people can't be creative. Like, why not just create your own thing? Like, you could do single woman, I don't know, single woman chaos or single woman victory or single woman life. I don't know, but just something other than Single Woman Chronicles because I've had my blog since 2015. But yeah, it's just weird to think that people will like literally try to take your stuff. It's just so weird. And I never think like that, but I had a friend who's a business owner and she's like, no, people will do it. You know what I mean? So it's just weird. But I just wanted you guys to know I have no affiliation. I don't even know what the play's about. Hopefully they didn't read my book and try to take anything from it. I don't know. It's just very weird. And I just, because I wouldn't steal anything from anybody, anytime I start a blog or start a website, I always Google first, look in the LLC, look in the trademark to make sure the name is available. But that's just me. But whatever. Anywho, on to today's topic. This is something that I actually have avoided talking about because if you are watching the video, I'm looking down because I actually need to look up a blog for the working definition. But today we will be talking about tapping into femininity. The title of today's episode is How to Be Feminine Without Losing Yourself. And the title itself is the reason I avoided the topic of tapping into femininity, because I see this topic so much, but I don't like what I'm hearing or seeing most of the time. Most of the time, I'm seeing women who are naturally prissy try to say that being feminine means you are prissy, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, because being a woman does not look one way. It looks several ways. Femininity is more so an internal thing. It's a being, because when you are born, this is what you are. So it's more so of a being than a looking or a doing. You know what I mean? So that's why I always avoided the topic of how to be more feminine. But I did watch a podcast, Know For Sure podcast, with B. Simone and Megan. And they had a special guest named Spicy Marie. Now, initially, when she started talking about being feminine, of course, I rolled my eyes and I was going to tune out because, again, I don't like the topic, because usually people are, to me, saying it wrong because they're basically trying to say that, like, if you don't look this way, if you don't live a quote unquote soft life where you're getting your hair done, getting your nails done, men paying for all your stuff, and all, blah, 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 that means you're not feminine. And to me, that's false advertisement. That's not true. So I always tend to tune out. But when Spicy Marie got on the mic, honey, she got me all the way together. I was literally like, let me get some paper and write this down, because sis is on it, honey. So I don't know if you've ever heard of Spicy Marie, but like, she's really dope. I think she's a relationship coach, matchmaker. But yeah, look her up. But she is freaking amazing. But today's episode is more so to help the alpha woman, the woman who typically has been independent for so long that she, because not by choice, because she wants a man, but she has been single for so long, or she's just so used to doing it on her own. And so when she hears things about like how to be more feminine, she rolls her eyes like I did, because it's kind of like, how do you be more feminine but not lose yourself? Because the media is telling you that you're not feminine if you don't look like this image. Like if you don't look like the Mariah Carey image where she's super prissy, or the Lori Harvey image where she's like super prissy. You know what I mean? So if you're tired of hearing it like that, let me get into what Spicy said to break it down, because I needed to hear it. I needed to stop ignoring it. So I'm here to help you if that is who you are, because that was who I was, y'all. So I love to define anything that I do. So I found this website called Mademoiselle O'Lantern, and she gave a good definition of what embracing femininity is. So she said the quality of the feminine energy is intuition, deep feeling, creativity, interconnectedness, openness, self-worth, and wildness. The quality of masculine energy is action, productivity, competitiveness, rationality, logic, structure, motivation, stability, and independence. So basically, I feel like women, no matter how much we, want to say that we're not naturally, most of the time, of course, there's always exceptions. Most of the time, naturally, we're more intuitive. Our woman's intuition, we feel more. We are creative. We're interconnected. We love ourselves, the self-worth aspect. And I don't know what this wildness word means, but yeah, whatever. So anyway, here's what I heard from Spicy that really opened my eyes. So the way she teaches femininity, she talks about how many times as women, we are so defensive because we have been hurt. So we have a wall up. So because we have this wall up, we can't fully operate in femininity because we're so busy trying to defend ourselves so we won't get played or get, no one won't dog us out and all that stuff like that. Especially if you've experienced it before, right? So she explains how when you're dealing with a man, you have to understand how he operates. And of course, we know men and women, we don't operate the same. So once you understand how he operates, you use that to your advantage. You have to understand what makes your man tick, because not every man ticks on the same thing. Like she was talking about how her man is very analytical. He needs to see the facts. Another man, he could be very egotistical, so he just needs to see you be pretty, or just see you, be relaxed or whatever. I was talking to my homeboy about this. He was talking about how, like, if a woman is always combative, he's going to automatically be combative too. But if a woman is relaxed and she picks her battles and she just goes with the flow most of the time, when finally she says something, he's more likely to listen, because he's like, well, she be chill most of the time. So if she's saying something about this, that means I probably really need to listen, even though I don't want to, right? So Spicy talks about how many times women are so stuck in that defense. We're so closed off because we're operating that masculine because we've been hurt or whatever, that we're forgetting the goal. So if your goal is to get a man to do X, Y, and Z, say your goal as a single woman, for me, if my goal is to reach a deep connection with a man, but I'm always defensive, I'm not going to reach my goal. So a guy can tell me something and I could be listening to him and I can know he's 150% wrong. And of course, me being the person that I've been hurt before, I've had men lie to me, gaslight me, do X, Y, and Z. And because I'm in that, oh, that's not going to happen to me again, when I hear a man being wrong, when I hear him explaining himself and he's trying to mansplain to me and do all of this stuff, my default is defense. My default is go for his jugular. Tell him he wrong. Explain to him how wrong he is. Give the PowerPoint presentation. Tell him he wrong. Shut him down. But Spicy's like, but what's that going to do? That's not going to give you a deeper connection with him. He could be wrong. but let it go. Just listen. Like, because what's the goal? The goal is to have a deeper connection, right? So she's explaining how if that's the goal, who cares if you're right? So let him be right in that moment, right? Just let it go. Pick your battles, let it go. Now, she's not saying to be stupid. She's not saying to be a yes woman or a pick me. But she's saying is when you find someone who is teachable, who is coachable, a guy who, like, say it's a guy that you meet and he may not know you that well and he's trying to explain something to you that you already know, and you just listen. Don't be defensive. Don't try to yell at him or tell him like, oh no, you don't know me, honey. But you know how we go into that. She's like, no, just listen. Let him have that. You know, he'll learn you. But then when it comes time where you're like, okay, are you going to listen to me? Let me explain something to you. But if he shuts you down and goes to the rah-rah and doesn't want to listen to you, that means he's not teachable. That means you need to run. But if it's a guy who he listens to you, he takes heed, he wants to talk, he wants to hear you too, then that's when you lean into that feminine energy, right? Now, I don't know if that made sense to y'all, but it made sense to me. And if not, you can always go and watch the Know For Sure podcast. It's called Live the Spicy Life, but she made some good points. But what I noticed about myself that really struck a nerve, but also freed me, was that my toxic trait is letting the dude, I was really gonna say nigga, letting the dude know, oh baby, you're wrong. And I'm gonna tell you how you're wrong. And I'm gonna find great joy in letting you know that you were wrong. That's so toxic. Because I'm gonna tell you why it's toxic. It's toxic because, one, it is emasculating. Like, I don't have to know that I'm right and prove that I'm right in every form situation, right? Like, because a lot of the times it don't even be that serious. But because in my past, I've dealt with so many guys who gaslighted me and did X, Y, and Z to me, I'm constantly on that defense. Like, no, I'm never going to let that happen again. A lot of the times, instead of just letting it ride and just letting it be, because honestly, I'm healed enough to just let it go. It doesn't have to be that. But because it was my default and nobody ever explained, like, hey, there's another way to do that, it just was what it was. Like, so now instead of being in defense and being in let me prove to him that I'm right mode, I'm going to take a step back and just listen. Now, let me tell you how this is going to free me even more. Not only am I going to form a deeper connection with the opposite sex, because I'm going to be more open, I'm going to be more receptive, I'm going to be less defensive, and I'm going to listen and just try to receive them and perceive them more. But also, when I come across a gentleman who is stupid, who is not teachable, instead of getting my own ego stroked by proving that he is wrong, I'm going to listen to him, still agree and be like, okay, I hear you. Not agree, but be like, okay, I hear you. Okay, I understand. And instead of leaning into that, getting my ego stroked, arguing with this man, and getting my point across, I can just exit stage left. Because I feel like a lot of us, we stay too long in situations and scenarios that we know ain't gonna work just because we're getting our ego stroked. Even if we're getting our ego stroked in a toxic manner. Because it's been a lot of men that I kept around just because, yeah, they were cute. Yeah, they were attractive. Yeah, I enjoyed having their company. But I also knew that we had nothing in common. But because I could prove that I was right in a lot of situations and a lot of our arguments, I was getting my ego stroked, I did not release them sooner. Even though my main goal was deeper connection with a man, the instant gratification in my ego was being stroked because I could prove that you're wrong. Like, it don't make no sense. Do it. It don't make no sense. But we do that. Because what we have to understand is women, we have egos too. I don't know why we think that men just have egos. No, women, we have egos too. Let me tell you how you got an ego. You know how every man that you leave, you left him, but you want him to come after you. You blocked him on everything. You blocked him on Instagram, Twitter, you blocked him on your email, you put him in a spam folder, you blocked him on TikTok, you blocked him on you blocked him on everything. But you want him to send a carrier pigeon to your front door to let you know that he still care about you. What is that? That is ego. So I feel like in order to be more feminine, especially if you're like more like an alpha female, in order to tap into that femininity, you kind of just have to let your guard down. And that's how you go away. That's how you don't lose yourself in the process, right? Because that was my biggest thing. I'm like, listen, I've done a lot of healing work and I feel that I am feminine. I've done a lot of work on, letting go, forgiving, healing, not having to work in the defense. But you can heal and still be operating wrong, right? Because you don't have a new strategy on how to do things, right? So you're going to constantly still go for that default, which is defense. And that's okay. So today, I'm letting you know that your femininity has nothing to do with your appearance. It has nothing to do with how you live your life, how ambitious you are, how you operate, and all of that. It's more so to do with, are you defensive? Do you feel like you have to have your ego stroked as a woman? Do you feel like you can relax and be more interconnected? Do you trust your own wisdom and intuition to know who to be soft, open, vulnerable with, and who not to be? Now, I'm not telling you to go out here and be a yes woman or a pick me or be dumb. I am not. Please don't do that. But that's why you have to lean into your wisdom. See, too many times we're giving our good qualities to the wrong people, and we know they're the wrong people. That's the thing about it. We be knowing. We be knowing they the wrong people, but because we want that ego stroke, because we want that instant gratification, because they cute, because they look good, all of that, we be so tuned in. No, tune out. Get it out of here. Ari Lennox album just dropped, and she got a song called Blocking You. Shout out to my friend Slim. He produced it. But yeah, she got that song and talking about how sometimes you just gotta block them just for your own peace. Honestly, myself and me, I am so, having high self-awareness, having high self-worth can be boring. I seen this just the other day on TikTok. This guy was like, why y'all didn't tell me having high self-worth is boring? It is. I'm gonna tell you why it's boring, because you don't entertain a lot, because you become very picky. And it's not a bad thing, but you're protecting your energy. So when you're protecting your energy, you're protecting your focus, only a select few can get in. And although it's peaceful, sometimes it does feel a little bit boring. So sometimes you may let some people slip through the cracks because you're tired of being bored. You're tired of the peace, because sometimes peace can feel like boredom. I know I'm not the only one that feels this way, because Homeboy said it and a whole bunch of people commented and they was feeling it. I get it. I found my tribe. I understood. But for me, I have to remind myself of the things that have happened in the past that I'm trying to avoid in order not to fall in those pitfalls, right? So I'm not telling you to be dumb. I want you to be feminine, but I want you to apply it in the right situations. Now, when you just meeting somebody, like if I go on a first date with somebody like today, matter of fact, there's this very classy woman. I don't know her name. I follow her on TikTok. Y'all, you gonna hear me talk about TikTok a lot because I love TikTok. But there's this very classy lady, and she talks about how like she went on a date with this guy, and he was just really on some BS from the time she stepped in to the time she left. And me, myself, we wouldn't have made it that far. But because she's kind, she's very soft, she's very tapped into her feminine energy, she was able to go to the date. He got there before her. He didn't offer like to buy her coffee or anything. She bought her own coffee, sat at the table with him. They started talking, and he just went into how women are this, women are that. He's a Kevin Samuel, like blah, blah, blah. She just sat there and listened. She didn't argue with him. She didn't boast about it. She didn't put no energy into it. She just let him be who he was. And instead of giving all that rah-rah energy that we be feeding into, she literally let him finish. And then when she was done with her coffee, she was like, hey, it was really nice meeting you, but I could tell we're not a good fit, but it was nice meeting you. I hope you find what you're looking for. And she walked away. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I feel like when you get that defense off, because when you in that defense, you apply too much energy to unnecessary situations. So now you don't have to do that. Okay, because you're not going to lose yourself. You're just going to use it in the proper situation. So if you go on a date and the guy just seems to be stupid, you don't have to check him. You can literally just remove yourself. You could just be like, okay, back in the day, I would argue with you. I would have wasted my energy, but I'm just going to leave. That dude was shook. He was stunned. He was speechless. He could not speak. Okay. He was just like, what are you, wait, what? And so she just walked away. So yeah, so that is how I view, or how I'm perceiving how to be more feminine without losing yourself. Because I don't care what everybody's saying, even with, self-love, self-worth. Like, people think, oh, self-care is when you go and get this done and that done and blah, blah, blah. It can be, if that's what you enjoy doing. Like, if you want a massage, if you enjoy getting your hair and your nails done and that makes you feel beautiful, yeah, that's self-care. But self-care is also telling yourself no when you're on a diet, because when you look in the mirror, you're not pleased with yourself. You're telling yourself no to that burger, or to those sweets, or to avoiding the gym. You're going to be like, yes, I'm going to the gym. So like, self-love is deeper than what society makes it seem. Like, society only points out the glamorous parts of all definitions, and it's very annoying. So I love that Spicy Marie was able to point out the deeper meanings of these. And I would love for y'all to go listen, because y'all, like, it really opened me up to some new stuff. And now I feel equipped. So when somebody's son come, I'm going to be very soft, and I'm very excited about it. Hopefully they're not stupid. But, if they are stupid, it's fine, because I would love to exit a coffee date as classy as that lady. Oh my God. That would be, see, there go my ego again. I just want to have my ego stroked. It's so awful. But yeah, so y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, and share. If y'all enjoyed this. Also, rate me on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. And yeah, but until next time, bye.